everyone. How are you? I was not monitoring the introduction, so I hope it went well. Um, it is what it is. How you doing? I hope you've had a wonderful couple of weeks, 3 weeks it's been, hasn't it? So thank you for your understanding with that delay of an extra week. That's helped me a lot. I have to say, everyone, I have damaged my back quite badly, so I've got a cushion behind me. If you see me maybe not in the most enthusiastic demeanor today, that's why. I'm actually in quite a bit of pain, so I'm going to do my best to get through this, but might make it slightly shorter, which I think is nigh on impossible because this is one of the most complex subjects for me to tackle. So I've kind of made a rod for my own back here. Let's see how I get on. That I didn't mean to say rod for my own back when I've damaged my back. Anyway, I hope you're all keeping well. Let's say a few hellos. I have, as you could see, I was flashing up some hellos there. I'm going to go, quite a bit later on. Um, and we'll start with Chris. Hello, Chris. How you doing? Hello, Clark, and everyone else watching from sunny Liverpool. Look forward to a brilliant afternoon in your company. Oh, it's sunny up there. That sounds great. We had sunny weather yesterday, Chris, which is beautiful. I'm glad you've got some today. We've got Tristan. Hello, everyone. Hello, Clark. Great to see all of you and can't wait for this episode. Hello, Tristan. Thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate that. And Lisa's saying hello, everyone. Hello to you, Lisa. Hope you're keeping well. And Davina is saying, I really miss you, Clark. That's very kind of you, Davina. I miss all of you when I'm not doing Journey songs. I look forward to doing it very much. It was a real drag that I had to put it back by a week, but there you go. Sally Ann is saying, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to you, Sally Ann. And Christian is saying, hola, saludos desde la ciudad de Talcahuano. I hope I got that right, Christian. I'm sorry. I probably really embarrassed myself just then. Sorry. What else have we got here? We've got Marcia. Hi, Clark. Looking forward to hear the story behind You Belong to You. It's a fantastic song. Your storytelling is so wonderful and really hard to choose one favourite song because they are all fantastic. Some artists have just that little extra, well, lovely comments for me, and I really appreciate it. All of you do as well. Thank you so much. It's really uplifting. Let me tell you that, especially when you've got serious back pain. So thank you. Um, who else have we got here? We've got. Oh, let me just say, Louise is saying, afternoon, everyone. It's Lou's birthday today. Happy birthday, Lou. I hope you're having a wonderful one today. I hope it's very special. And I've noticed a lot of people saying happy birthday to you. Very well deserved. So happy birthday, Lou. You can all somehow in unison sing happy birthday to Lou if that's possible in this kind of event. And where are we? Lax is saying, beautiful day out here in Austin, Texas. Great, Lax. Lovely. Well, here we are on the cusp in the northern hemisphere of summer to autumn, and it's a bit. I love this time of year. It's cooling down. I personally prefer that, and yeah, it's a vibe. I can tell we're getting into a very songwritery vibe. That's how I look at it. Rach is saying, hi Clark, hope you're well. Sending healing as always. Thank you, Rach. I need it today, so thank you very much. Who else do we have here? Okay, I'm not saying hello to everyone, and excuse me if I'm not, because I've got to get through this with this back pain, so I'm not going to make this quite so long. Sorenable, hello Clark. Hello Sorenable, did I say that correct? I hope I did. Alejandro is saying, buenas tardes, Clark. Hello to everyone. Happy to enjoy another episode. Greetings from Argentina. Hola, Alejandro. Good that you joined us. Thank you very much. And buenas tardes to you as well. And who else are we going to? We've got Only You. Hello, Martha Damas fan français, Only You. How are you, dear Clark? I'm surviving, Only You, because of my back. I'm doing good. Thank you for a lovely greeting. And Lottie, hello Lottie, how you doing? Lottie Law, wonderful young artist, as I've told you before, saying get well soon. Thank you, Lottie. I need those get well wishes, believe me. Um, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of not saying hello, and I'm not reading out all these lovely messages. Gary is saying, "Hi Clark, hope you're well." Hey Gary, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right under the circumstances. Thank you for joining us. And Claire is saying, "Oh no, hope you recover soon." Claire, I'm glad you've managed to make it this time. I know sometimes it's tricky work-wise, so thanks a lot for joining us. Wonderful. And Neil, who runs the Journey Songs community page on Facebook, is saying, "Sorry to hear that, Clark. Heavy items on the move, I assume." Actually, Neil, you would assume that, and I would have assumed that, but it was in training a few days before when I was at the gym. And interestingly, not as I was doing an exercise. It was in between exercises. I turned strangely, and it went, ooh, horrible. Anyway, my old friend of our family, Richard. Hi, Clark. Feel better soon. Thank you, Rich. Hope you're keeping well. Hope you and Joe and the family are doing well. And Alice is saying, yes, Epsom salts with magnesium. Yeah, good one, Alice. I think I've got some Epsom salts. I don't know if they've got magnesium or whether I've got that as an additive, but I'll look at that. Thanks very much. Fatima is saying, I miss you as well, Clark. Miss you too, Fatima, and everyone. Like I said, wonderful to be back with you. Like I say, if I pull a face, it's nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with me. And let's just say, Richard, hello, Clark. Firstly, hope your back gets better soon and look forward to the stream. And hello to everyone. That's important. Thank you, Richard. Okay, I'm going to zoom through here. Vicky says, feel better soon. Good to see you. Thank you very much, Vicky. And Leap is saying, hello, Clark. Looks like the sun. Yeah, actually, it is actually. Well noticed, and Leap. Yes, it's a sunny late afternoon here in Britain. Ang Lee is saying, hello all, great to see you, Clark, and hope the back is better soon. Can't be with you for long as I'm off to see another fab artist, Kim Wilde. Happy birthday, Lou. Ang Lee, enjoy it. It's great. I performed alongside Kim, shared the stage quite a few times. It's going to be great. You'll love it. Okay, and Steve, a couple more messages, then I've got to get going onto the stream. Hi, Clark. Looking forward to hearing the back, pun intended, story to this song. Very good, Steve. Very good. I hope the back gets better ASAP. I like that. That made me chuckle. Jacqueline is saying, get better soon, Clark. Back pain is terrible, isn't it? Jacqueline, yeah, it's fundamental to your health. It's one of those things, and it's only when it happens that you remember that it is. Okay, I'm just going to say, Kev, if I got here, sorry, I want to get to Kev. Hello from Newcastle, lovely city. Looking forward to hearing the story behind the song. Saw you in Leeds at 80s Classical in July, and you were amazing as always. Thank you, Kev. What a great event that is, isn't it? I mean, I enjoy it as much as anyone in the audience, believe me, and Mike as well. All right, everyone. I'm going to just move on, even though I could keep saying hello, and I'm sorry I'm not saying hello. Hal is saying, oh, Clark, you sound in so much pain. Thanks so much for still doing this. Maybe your spine needs adjusting. You know what, Hal? I am going to see a chiropractor this week, so I think that's probably the case. And Marek is saying, hi, Clark. Hope your back pain will go away soon. Nice to see you again. I'm very sad about your queen. Thanks, Marek. I'm going to reference that. A few people have asked me about my thoughts on this, and my thoughts are perhaps unconventional. In a respectful way, though. Don't worry, I'm not going to get weird on you about this at all. But you'll see where I'm going and why I chose "You Belong to You," because I did that purposefully. The more all of you asked about my thoughts on this subject, the more I thought, well, what's appropriate here? And rather than choose a sad song, and there's enough sad music accompanying the film of the process now of her passing away. I chose a song that I think is important and relevant to her, but also to all women, and by default to all men. So let's get to it, everyone. Let's get to "You Belong to You." Now, before I do, the obligatory reminder that Journey Songs 1 is still out. musicglue.com/Clark Datchler. A wonderful album and a journey in and of itself. So I just wanted to mention that. But also pertinent to now, oops, not Journey Songs 2, but that is coming actually. That was actually a slip of the finger. Is the Johnny Hates Jazz web store. Because in the top left-hand corner, as you can see, is a certain album which contains the song that I'm going to be doing today. So the store is www.store@johnnyhatesjazz.com, and there is the beginnings of what we're going to be having on the store. Okay, so let's go to the album that contains the song You Belong to You, Magnetized. And on You Belong to You, obviously I was doing vocals and keyboards. Mike was doing some guitars and producing. I wrote the song, and Alex Reeves on drums, Dave Monday on guitar, Marcus Bonfanti on guitar as well. I'm kind of going through all this quite quickly because I've talked about all of these people before, but I haven't talked about this next person who made a guest appearance on this one song, and his name is Pete Watson. And Pete Watson is an excellent keyboard player and musical arranger, best known amongst working with other people, including Kylie Minogue, for being the keyboard player and musical director on tour with Hertz. And for those of you who are familiar with Hertz, I really liked their first album with Wonderful Life on it, and Better Than Love. And we asked Pete if he would just do some extra keyboards on You Belong to You, and he did some really cool things. So that's kind of really all that I need to say about the recording, except that this is a recording where, you know, me and Mike, as artists, naturally listen to what we've done after we've done it and are critical. That's just how artists are, you know. But You Belong to You is one which I really think we completely got right. I just think I've often said this to Mike, I really, really like how it sounds, and the energy and the aggression and the rockiness. It's exactly what I'd hoped when I was writing the song. So, yeah, it's worked out really well. Okay, now, I need a cup of tea before I start this subject. It's a complicated subject. Hang on a sec. Ow. So I'm going to try not to be too heavy because it is a really heavy subject. So bear with me. Basically, it started out as a response to songs that said "You belong to me" in them, or were called "You belong to me." There's quite a few of them. And usually that's a male saying it to a female. Not always, but usually. And I started to get really, really annoyed and angry at that message, even though it may not have been intended to be particularly heavy. You know, sometimes things are said flippantly and without thinking, but actually is a message subliminally, deep down. It's a very, very damaging message. How can anyone belong to anyone else? That's slavery. And that is the point. That message, "You belong to me," has nothing to do with love. And so I wanted to write "You Belong to You" as a love song, to say, I'm in love with you, but I don't want to own you. I don't want to possess you. I want to love you, I want to be loyal to you, but I don't want to own you. And I think this is very important. It ramifies societally around the world and across the ages. So where am I going with this? Well, actually, let's quote a god amongst songwriters, John Lennon, and a song he wrote called "Woman is the N-word of the world." I can't say that word, okay? Woman is the N-word of the world. So you can look it up if you don't know it. It's online. It's a very powerful song, and he wrote that with Yoko Ono, so hats off to Yoko as well, who was obviously very important with some of his lyric writing, very important. And the line is, in the song, "Woman is the slave to the slaves." Woman is the slave to the slaves. That's heavy. Now, before we go any further, please don't think that I'm saying all of you women out there are slaves and all of you men out there, me included, are slavers. Of course I don't mean it like that. But when you're writing a song and you're trying to get a message across, especially a powerful message, as Lennon was in that case, you have to kind of sometimes say things that snap people away. And actually, across the ages and around the world, this has been true. Women have got a rough deal, a raw deal, societally, more than anyone else. It doesn't matter what your age group, doesn't matter what your religious affiliation, doesn't matter what your nationality, doesn't matter what your colour of skin. Women have had it worse. So, guys, like I said, don't get defensive. I'm a guy, all right? So you'll see how I'm going to include us in this, because it's actually, it affects all of us, okay? Women, I hope it's okay that I speak as a man, but to a degree on your behalf. How did this start? Well, it really starts with the earth. Cue picture of the earth. And of course we call the earth Mother Earth, not Father Earth. Why do we call the earth Mother Earth? We call the earth Mother Earth because she births life, like all mothers. And mothers are the biggest influences on their children. Yes, you can say fathers have influence over time, and they certainly do. Many fathers in a very, very direct way, of course. But mothers, it's a very deep influence. And this is true since the beginning of time. And of course, in the ancient world, there were wise women, there were healers that were female, most of them were actually. There were women with great spiritual authority and social authority. The ones with spiritual authority were often referred to as witches, the wise women. And of course there were men, by the way, who were the wise men of, for example, ancient Europe. They were called wizards. No, it's not all myth. It does have its roots in reality. And then about 2,000 years ago, give or take a few hundred years, we saw the rise of organized, male-dominated religions. And they were based on control and the destruction of women's authority. Now, again, if you are religious, don't get defensive, because a lot of religions have evolved, transformed themselves. When it came to Christianity, we had the Enlightenment, a lot changed. But we cannot pretend that it's been plain sailing, because it hasn't. And what was the point of this? Well, like I said, women, mothers, greatest influence on children. So if you want to influence children, you have to take mothers out of the equation. You have to remove their authority and replace it with another authority, whether that be the authority of the state or the religion or society at large, whatever it is. And this is really true, not just for girls, but for boys as well. Because the system relies on us boys, us men, doing their bidding. That means doing as we are told. doing the jobs they want us to do, fighting the wars they want us to fight, all of these things. It keeps the world spinning. So we are as much as a victim of this as women. So that's why we're all part of this. We all suffer as a result. Okay, so across the ages, I could go on about what has happened with women across the ages, and in Europe we saw terrible things, witch burnings, women becoming second-class citizens, and I won't over describe this because I think many of us are familiar with that. And then we saw, the Enlightenment. We saw the rise of the suffragettes and the demand for women to have the vote and greater rights, and a lot of ground has been taken. How fantastic. And some brave women, supported by some brave men, have sought to rebalance the situation. So, we come to the present, and what's the point of you belong to you? Well, like I said, superficially, it's what I said at the beginning, a kind of a way of saying, I love you, but I don't need to own you. But actually, I want you to understand that it really came from a place of outrage. I'm outraged that in some parts of the world still, people, and mainly women, should be punished for falling in love. Maybe falling in love with someone of a different religion. Maybe they're punished for simply making love before they're married. Maybe they're punished for just wanting to study. Maybe they're punished for going out in public alone. And some of those punishments are incredibly severe. These so-called honor killings that have no honor in them at all. None at all. They are absolutely despicable. And I won't go into detail about what happens in these honor killings. I think a lot of you are aware of them, but I'm outraged. So You Belong to You was really me wanting to say through a 4.5 minute song, it's not the greatest gift in the world, but it's a start. Me saying, you belong to you. You do not belong to any male who is trying to control your every move and your every decision. That's where this was coming from. Outrage. And so I'm obviously referring to religiously and culturally conservative societies that are killing women for absurd so-called crimes. But this has its roots in over 2,000 years of global history. None of us are immune. Okay. So, as I said, I'm not being anti-male here because I'm a male, and often the punishments are enforced by other women. That's how unbalanced it's become. We just need more balanced female leadership in the world alongside more balanced male leadership. And interestingly, when I talk about that, again, I'm going to reference the Native American world. Many of the tribes had a system of internal government where they always had two presiding chiefs. Two presiding chiefs, not one. It was a female and a male every time. By the way, presiding chief, their terminology, presiding, president, that's where it came from. Two presiding chiefs, female and male. How brilliant. The Green Party have been trying to do this for many years. It's been quite complicated in our world because we tend to want to identify with a singular leader. But they've tried to do this where you've got female and male leadership. It takes a lot for us to kind of adjust ourselves to see that as being natural, but it is natural. The ultimate in representation, actually, at the top. So, that's kind of giving you a background as to where I'm coming from. There's the kind of more superficial level, and You Belong to You is a love song, and it's almost quite a sexy love song, actually, and I wanted it to be that way because the music is as well. But deep down, I have a lot of anger about this, and I know a lot of us do. I'm sure I'm resonating here a lot. This has to change. We are in 2022. The whole world has to be in unison here, and we are all equal, for goodness sake. Okay, now, I thought I would now just talk about women throughout history that have influenced me, that meant a lot to me as a man, that were great symbols for me, because we all need those symbols. We need the male symbols and the female symbols throughout history. So I'm going to start with Nefertiti, who ruled 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt. The 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt. I've got the dates here, 1370 to 1330 BC. I was a bit vague on the dates, actually, with Nefertiti. Incredible leader, very important. With her husband Akhenaten, created what is thought of as being the first monotheistic religion. Yes. Which, is an interesting one. And I'm now going to go to someone who really influenced me big time, Boudicca. Boudicca was a chieftain, a leader of Celtic Britain, in a part of England, actually, now known as East Anglia. And she led a rebellion against the Romans in AD 60. And it was so fierce that many historians believe that it was the beginning of the end of the Roman Empire. The resistance actually lasted for another 60 years, even though Boudicca's rebellion inevitably was defeated. But it was so fierce and her leadership was so powerful that she especially was a huge figure for me growing up. First historical figure I ever learnt about was Boudicca. And in fact, on Journey Songs 2 and on the album Tomorrow, I dedicated a song to her, and it's called Boudicca Cry, and I will be doing that in the future. So let's go forward. Mary Wollstonecraft, the mother of Mary Shelley, author of Frankenstein. Mary Wollstonecraft, who wrote A Vindication of the Rights of Woman. She lived 1759 to 1797, really seen as one of the founders of the women's rights movement, deeply intelligent woman, and followed it up with A Vindication of the Rights of Man. So talk about someone who was seeking balance. She really was. Tremendous, Mary Wollstonecraft. I visited her grave in Bournemouth in the UK, and bit of a pilgrimage for me. And let's go to Matilda Jocelyn Gage from the United States, 1826 to 1898. She wrote a book called Woman, Church and State, which I have back there on my bookshelves. So fundamentally important. It's confronting reading. If you manage to find a copy, I recommend it. Woman, Church and State. Remarkable. And Matilda Jocelyn Gage was a compatriot of Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony and the suffragettes of the United States in that period of time. Very, very important to me. Woman, Church and State. Woman, Church and State changed my perspective on the world completely. Now, with all of that said, how does this relate to the death of Elizabeth? Well, this is what I think. She's not about the crown or palaces or wonderful dresses or the accoutrements of monarchy. She, as a symbol, was much, much bigger and much more ancient. She was a matriarch, a global matriarch, and she reminded us of something long lost in time. And so that is why her passing is important to me. I am not a monarchist. I'm respectful, don't get me wrong, but I'm not a monarchist. But I really appreciate that as a symbol of a matriarch, of female authority and balance as a result, she was very important. So, that is why I chose You Belong to You now. Okay. So everyone, how are we doing for time? Oh, we're doing all right. Okay. I want to just, before I continue and go to see what you're all thinking, I'm going to quote someone that some of you, especially here in the UK, will be disgusted that I'm going to quote, possibly. But nothing is ever black or white. Nothing. We need more nuance in the world. And I'm going to quote the UK's former Prime Minister, who I am no fan of. Politically, I am definitely in the socialist camp. But I'm going to quote Boris Johnson because he said something very important. Hear me out. If Vladimir Putin was a woman, which he obviously isn't, but if he were, I really don't think he would have embarked on a crazy, macho war of invasion and violence in the way that he has. That encapsulates a lot. So we need the balance of women and men in positions of authority to create balance, the compassion of women. I'm not saying all women, okay, and not everyone's balanced, but I'm generalizing here, and there are very compassionate men out there as well. But in general, this is what I'm talking about. And believe it or not, all of what I've just said, which I know has gone off at all kinds of tangents, is the root of why I wrote You Belong to You. Yeah, there's a lot there, isn't there? Okay. I think I'm going to see how everyone's doing here. I wonder how you're doing. I'm going to zoom ahead and see. Where are we? Where are we? I'm going to just see where I can start here. Alice is saying, the Journey songs is very educational. I can appreciate the songs with a new intimacy. Thanks, Alice. Yes, well, that's, really, it's about my own education and what educated me and informed me to write songs, because I'm very often I'm inspired by what's going on up here. Music is often talked about as being an emotional expression, and it is partly, of course, but I'm quite cerebral as well. Vanessa is saying, this is a lovely insight, Clark, into the women who influenced you. Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, and of course you'll have your own examples. I know I'm being quite, Eurocentric and American-centric, and I'm sorry about that. There's a lot of other people that I should be talking about and mentioning that I haven't, so you can educate me there. Choose 8 is, hello both of you. Love Frankenstein, a fave novel. Yeah, incredible. If any of you want to look at how Frankenstein was written, it's an amazing story. Mary Shelley, her husband Percy Shelley, and Lord Byron in a castle in Switzerland, and you should read up on how it was written. Amazing story. Setsuko, we are so lucky as your big fan, Clark, in my opinion. Well, I'm lucky as well. I'm lucky that you've joined me and you even want to hear this, so thank you. Lucretia's saying, oh, I'll be in Bournemouth on Friday. Yes, Lucretia, look up online where it is. It's a powerful place. Mary Shelley, back to Mary Shelley, used to go to see her mother's grave with her husband Percy Shelley, and it was Percy who took her there and used to read. Percy used to read from Mary Wollstonecraft's writings to Mary Wollstonecraft's daughter Mary. That's another lovely story that I've read about. Lax is saying, how can we forget the haunting Boudicca Cry song, Clark? I see the clear influence on you. Oh, thank you, Lax. Yes, Boudicca Cry is coming in the future as a journey song. That's actually a really big one to me. It's kind of a almost a going to be a high point and a deep point in the whole of Journey songs. Um, okay, so let's see. Ezria is saying Boudicca Cry from Tomorrow, one of my favourite tracks, and the lyrics make me cry. That's lovely, Ezria. I'm really glad. Well, I mean, I'm not glad that you cry, but it's a song for all of us. You know, I never, even though it's about Boudicca and she was from here, it really is a global song, which I'll get to, obviously. Um, Lottie is making a great point. This is also why I loved the Queen. I felt very safe as a young person having a female role model like her. She made me feel very at ease. That's an excellent point, Lottie. I've not heard a young person express it like that in terms of feeling safe with her as a role model. Excellent. Thank you for that. Yeah, you know, it's going to be really, really hard to replace her. It's going to take many, many years if it's even possible. Like I say, as the matriarch that I see her and saw her as. But who knows? Um, okay, I'm just seeing what else we've got, and then I'm going to keep going. Okay. Oh, Tracy, here we go. Tracy's saying, "Hi Clark, just joined a little late. I feel deeply injected to You Belong to You. Thank you for writing such a poignant song." You're very welcome, Tracy. Thank you for um, being part of this and appreciating it. I hope I've communicated this. I was writing so many notes because I'm so impassioned about this subject, and in my original notes I went probably way over the top, getting quite worked up about it. And then I thought, hang on, this is Journey songs. This is not the time and the place to go completely overboard with this. There will be a time and a place, but somewhere else. Um, Sue is saying, "You're a true feminist, Clark." Oh, that's such an honour. Thank you, Sue. That's such an honour. I studied women's history too, and issues are still relevant centuries on. Yeah, yeah, isn't that the case? And I'm sure there's many things you could teach me about, Sue, with your studies. I still feel there's a lot for me to learn. Um, and Paul is saying, "Spirit of Love is so influential to me. I play it so often." Paul, that's a lovely song to mention in connection with this because it is very connected. Absolutely. Thank you for mentioning that. I'm glad it influenced you. Lovely. Um, okay. Oh, Tracy's saying connected, not injected. Well, I kind of got the autocorrect. Oh, it's awful, isn't it? Um, and I'm trying. I want everyone to have a chance here. Howard says, "I'm always reminded what a brilliant album Magnetized is. So many incredible songs." Thanks, Howard. Thank you. You know what? I feel very. I think that was Johnny H.S.'s best album, personally. It's hard to say that, isn't it? I'm proud of all of them, but I really feel strongly about that one. Um, Jill Marie is saying, "A really interesting history lesson today and how it influences music." Yeah, yeah. It's interesting when I do Journey songs. It makes me articulate what usually I just introspect, and that's a very healthy thing to do. Actually, that's a very healthy exercise to embark upon. Um, and what have we got here? Oh, Russ, good viewpoints, Clark. We're all equal, always have been, but sadly there are still parts of the world catching up. Russ, you encapsulate it in 3 lines. It took me multiple lines to say exactly that. Precisely, that is the case, and hopefully we will all catch up. I feel confident, but let's do it soon, yeah. Um, Sue says, "I sense you have an amazing intuition and very spiritually aware whilst remaining grounded in the here and now. I think you have had some interesting past lives. An old soul." Thank you, Sue. Yes, well, maybe. Maybe I'm an old soul. Sometimes I think, like I said earlier, I've still got a lot to learn. I guess we all have. Um, Sam is saying this has been very emotive, and I too have role models. The biggest one, my German Nan, who was so courageous in the war and came to England. Wow, that sounds like quite a story, Sam. At some point, I'd love to hear that. It sounds like a powerful story. Okay, thank you. So I was saying, I'm just the slave of my cat. That's a great way to segue out of the more serious side of things. Thank you. Aren't we all? If we've got cats, we know what cats are like. Okay, everyone. Okay, let's just see. Is there anything else here? I'm going to just actually, Annie asked a question here. Do you talk with Mike about your story behind the song when you introduce it? No, no, I don't. I think Mike is vaguely aware of what I'm going on about because he has to take a lot of time with the lyrics when when I'm doing the vocals. So he kind of gets, sometimes we'll discuss it, and more often than not, we're completely on the same page. So I don't really need to introduce it because in the recording process he's been so immersed in the lyric as well. There's not really a need to say it, and then we'll socially talk about subjects that touch on these, and 9.9 times me and Mike are in complete agreement. So I think we only had one major argument about the subject of a song, but that's for another time. I can laugh about it now. I didn't then. Okay, everyone. I think I'm going to go to the song now. Thank you for all of your comments. And sorry if I didn't include everyone. I am wrestling a little bit here with my back, so I'm just going to get to the song now. Thank you. Cup of tea first. Time, everyone. If you've got beverage, have a cuppa, have a sip. Okay. Well, this song has a lot to it, and when I decided to do it, and I knew it was going to be a busy time because of all the things I'm doing at the moment, I thought, this could do You Belong to You, because it's actually a simpler one. I know it quite well. And then I started going through it, and I thought, oh wow, doing it acoustically on my own, it's not simple at all. So, let's give it a go. Bear with me, everyone. I don't want to sit at the head of the table. I don't want to be Lord of the house. All I'm asking for is you and I to be lovers. You don't have to play the part. You've already won my heart. Let me say it loud and clear. You have got nothing to fear. Whoa, you belong to you and not to me. Love shouldn't take away your liberty. Oh no, you belong to you and no one else. Let love be a heaven and not a hell. I don't want my shadow to cast you in darkness. I don't need my voice to silence yours. No, all I'm looking for is you and I to get closer. You don't have to masquerade on a patriarch's parade. You're nobody's mannequin, bought for the price of a ring. Oh, you belong to you and not to me. belong to you and no one else. Now let me throw my coin in your wishing well. Wishing well, you belong to you, and not to be. Love should never rob you of your liberty. You belong to you. Ow! I hope you enjoyed that, everyone. That was good to play. That was good to play. Yeah. Good energy. Lots of piss off, believe me. Did you all enjoy that? Let's just check on everyone. Make sure you did. Vanessa saying beautiful and well done, Clark. Thank you. Keith is saying this is a great rendition, Clark. Thank you very much. Sarah saying wowzers, Clark. I take it that's a good thing. Carol is saying great rendition. Thanks, Clark. Excellent. Ezria is saying woo. I like it. Thank you, everyone. Sue's saying brilliant. Oh, that's really cool. Fatima saying excellent. I like all this. Malgorzata. That's a fantastic name, Clark. Oh my God, it's an amazing song. Thank you very much. Yes, well, I'm proud of that song. Zena is saying thank you, Clark. I hope your back pain goes away soon. Thank you very much, Zena. Lottie's saying that was where are you, Lottie? That was so great. Thank you, Lottie. High praise indeed. Ruthie, my friend. Hey, Ruthie, how you doing? Great energy. Thanks, Ruthie. Yeah, I needed to pull on everything I had because the old back's playing up. But it's a subject that I know you know a lot about, Ruthie. So I wanted to give it my all. And not for the last time. Martina says, buena vibra. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias, Martina. Ezria is saying, oh, bravo, encore. I don't think I've got the energy to do it again right now, but I will in the future. Okay. Neil is saying, whose mental health isn't better for these streams? Neil, that's a lovely thing to say. Thank you so much, man. Me included. And Lucretia's saying, literally, ow! And Claire is saying, just fab. Hal is saying hearts. And Richard saying, awesome, buddy. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that, man. Sam saying, I say it every time, you're just a brilliant songwriter. Wow, what a performance. Thank you, Samantha. And Alison saying, lovely, Clark. Marcia saying, I love this, Clark. You're really a genius. Nah, thank you. Well, okay, thanks. And Fatima saying, amazing. This was beautiful. Now take some ibuprofen. I did earlier. I think I'm going to have to do another round, actually, Fatima. Thank you. Rach is saying, just love that voice. I could listen to it all day. One of my favourite songs, too. Thank you, Rach. I appreciate that. And Brian is saying, wow, fantastic. Okay, everyone, I'm going to say adios now because my back's at it. Thank you everyone for joining. Sorry I didn't say hello to everyone. I will read all your comments later, believe me, when I've got some ibuprofen down me and I've got some cushions behind me in bed. I will hot water bottle and everything, and Epsom salts and magnesium. I'll have a look at all of your comments. Thank you so much. And everyone, let's continue to fight the good fight for women and for the world, for all of us, okay? For our daughters and our sons. We need all of us, as Russ said, to be equal and acknowledged as equal. And as Russ also said, we always have been. We really are, of course. It's just getting the world to acknowledge that we are. Okay, love you guys. Take care. See you soon. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Take care. Adios.